Hello, welcome. This is
Pepper.
and I am Mama Brooke. We are in our kitchen and we're making us a delicious treat for tomorrow's breakfast. It's called St Lucia buns and it runs in my husband's sort of family's tradition. They call it bulla, but basically they're saffron rolls and they're so delicious.
I see bulla with tea.
Yeah, and it's perfectly dipped with some tea. Okay, so we're gonna get going. Right now, Pepper and I have just melted 6 ounces of butter. So it's nice and melted there. Don't touch Pepper, it's hot. And to this butter, melted butter, we're going to add 2.5 cups of milk.
I don't want it to break.
It won't break. And this is grass-fed milk from grass-fed cows, excuse me. And it's A2 milk too, so it's better for your digestion. Okay, so I'm making about 2.5 cups. Let me make sure you can pour it in. That look about right. 2.5 cups. That's about perfect. So we're gonna pour the milk into the butter. Okay, Pepper can help. Let's bring your chair over here. 1, 2, 3.
It's hot.
I know, so you have to be very careful. Okay, you're gonna help me, Pepper. Ready? You're gonna help me. 1, 2, 3. Very, very good. Okay. While the butter is already melted, we're gonna make sure, we're gonna check the temperature because we have to add some active yeast to this dough and we want to add it to this mixture here.
Hey!
That's right. So we're looking for about 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit to mix our active yeast. So Pepper, do you want to put it in here and see what the temperature is?
Yeah.
Okay. Just let it rest on the side. I'm going to put it inside and I'm going to test the temperature. Meanwhile, I'm going to sneak in here for my active yeast. And voila. That's my active yeast. Get that all organized. Voila. So I'm reading about 120 degrees, and that's actually pretty good for what I'm looking for because the milk and the butter mixture is about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, I want it about 110. And so it's a perfect temperature to add in this sort of cooler bowl because it will decrease in temperature. Okay. So to this bowl, I'm just going to add a little bit of this, not a lot. Okay, I'm going to put it back over here for Pepper. Very careful, it's very hot. And to this milk and butter, Pepper, do you want to add the active yeast? Yeah, here you go. Just 3, okay? And you can go more or less. The recipe actually calls for 1.7 ounces of fresh yeast, which I don't have. And I've got about 2 bags of active yeast. So 1 bag of active yeast, those little red pouches, is about 1.5 teaspoons. So we'll just add 3 teaspoons. Okay, Pepper, you're doing excellent. Perfect. And now we're just going to let that rest for a little bit. Okay, about 5 minutes, so it start bubbles up. And while that is going, we are going to take our beautiful saffron. It's so beautiful. You are going to do that.
I'm going to do it in here.
That's right. We have a little mortar and pestle, and we're going to make these saffron threads. Nice and tiny little specks of magical dust. Okay, so this is quite a bit of saffron. I'm not sure how much is in here. 1 full gram, and the rest maybe half of the bottle. Saffron is not cheap, I'll tell you that. Right, Pepper? So 3/4, well, we might just indulge and add the whole thing. Or we'll save a little bit for later. I think that's pretty good. We'll save that much for later. I'm gonna sprinkle, hold on, Pepper, we lost a few threads. Let's get it all in there. Okay, see, take this away. So that's about a teaspoon of saffron. And there you go, very gentle, Pepper, very gentle. So Pepper's doing a good job. To help her mix it, I'm gonna add a pinch of sugar. Watch out, Pepper.
Oops.
A little bit more sugar, just a pinch to help it mix well.
Oh.
Very good. Okay, mix it up. Just pound it like this. Pound. There we go. Very gentle. You can mix it around too. Very good. So we get this saffron here at Costco. They sell it at Costco, and it's a great deal. While we wait here for the yeast, let's go ahead, Pepper, and get the flour going. So we need to measure out 2 pounds of flour. And the recipe we go by calls for whole wheat flour. Now, I prefer 00 flour. Any 00 flour is great. The reason being is it's less gluten and it makes the bulla, the St Lucia buns, just fluffy and light and just so delicious. So I love this 00 flour. I make it in a lot of my pastries actually, because I find the whole wheat bread flour to be a little bit heavier than my liking and my kids' liking as well. Okay, so let's measure out 2 pounds. Oh, delicious. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Okay, so you can start measuring out the flour. Here you go. You're gonna go like this and put it in like that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll have Pepper start going with that. Okay, I'm gonna move you closer. 1, 2, hold on, wait, be patient. Okay, there. Meanwhile, I'm gonna finish the saffron here. Yeah, keep going. She's gonna measure out 2 pounds. So it's quite a lot of flour. Maybe like 6 cups total, I'm guessing. Okay, so the saffron's nicely ground up here. I'm gonna add this saffron little sprinkling of sugar to the warm milk and butter right in here. To the flour, I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, but we'll wait for Pepper. Pepper, how about you do the salt? I'm gonna do a different technique with the flour because this will take a long time. Give or take, it's okay if you add a little more salt. Okay, Pepper's gonna add that. Go ahead, place it in there, Pepper. And then also the recipe we use calls for 1 cup of sugar. Now, I don't like a lot of sugar. In fact, if it was up to me, and if I was just feeding myself, I would use 0 sugar. Or use like monk fruit or allulose. Let's see how much this is. I don't think this is 1 cup, so I usually half the sugar, maybe less. So Pepper's gonna hold this, and I'm gonna pour the sugar in the cup. So let's see how much this is. This is 1/3 of a cup right here. So that's 1/3. Pour that in. So let's see. Let's do a little bit more. Maybe a 1/2 cup. There you go. That's about half the sugar of the recipe. Very good, Pepper. You're doing good. Pepper's such a good helper, aren't you, Pepper? So this recipe is really simple. 6 ounces of butter, 2.5 cups of milk, 3 teaspoons active yeast, 3 teaspoons active yeast, sugar. If you want, we're adding a 1/2 cup in this recipe, and 2 pounds of flour. I use 00 flour, the best. I'm not gonna do it quite yet, Pepper. Not quite yet. And then 1 teaspoon salt and saffron. And again, if you don't have saffron, you can always get creative and add cinnamon or cardamom. We've done cardamom rolls before. That's delicious, especially in the holidays with a spice. Okay, I had to leave for a little bit for an errand, but it looks like our yeast did bubble up, but now it's somewhat cold. So I'm just crossing my fingers that this works out. To this mixture, I'm going to add the flour, but before I do that, we have the rest of the milk and the butter and the saffron that Pepper so nicely did for me. We're gonna pour this in, the rest of the liquid here. Oh, look at that golden hue. It's so beautiful, right, Pepper?
Yeah.
Okay, sugar. So again, about a 1/2 cup sugar, 6 cups flour, and a teaspoon salt. I'm gonna add this to the pot here.
How'd you do it?
And voila. We'll move this out of the way. Now finally we are back to mix our St. Lucia buns, the dough. Push the button here. Very nice. So this will go for a few minutes. We'll start a nice low tempo here for a couple minutes, and then we'll amp it up a little bit so it gets nice and mixed. Yep, we are going to do that. That's the plan. So it's looking beautiful, nice golden color. So after this is well mixed, in a couple minutes or so, we'll cover the dough for about an hour or two until it rises and it doubles in size, at least a minimum. And sometimes, to be quite honest, I will do this first thing in the morning and I'll leave for the whole day. And I'll just let it rise all day. So even if you have stuff to do, errands to run, kids to pick up, if it rises, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, and it will rise. So here we begin. Now it's coming together nicely. I'm just going to pick up the tempo a few more notches. And it's looking good, huh, Pepper? Looks delicious.
I can eat them.
You can eat them, yeah. Ginger asked me to show you the dough, which was my intention. We have to have patience. Voila. So there you see it, and pretty soon when I come back, you'll see this will have doubled in size. See you in a little bit. Hello, welcome back. Here I am. It's after dinner time, so it's a little bit crazy around here. But the saffron rolls have been rising, and now they're starting to deflate because I've waited a little bit. But they're still good form. So here we begin. Look how here I'm going to first flour the surface. Me? You have to get your share. First, you want to flour the surface. Okay, voila. Okay, then you have to flour the surface.
Oh, it's still rose on it.
That's good. Okay, very good. As tight as I can do it. Okay. Is we're going to take the saffron dough out. It was much actually fluffier. No, we have to wait till we cook it, Pepper. So not that bad. Not that bad.
I like it.
Yeah, it looks nice and soft. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to divide it in a lot of little pieces. Here, Pepper, I have one for you.
I want to eat you.
Okay, and so let's see. It just...
I want one.
Okay, Pepper, I'll switch you. Here you go.
Hey,
1, 2. Here, Pepper, I'm going to give you one to work with. So this is Pepper's. We'll make a little space for you.
That's mine.
Yeah. Ginger, would you like to do one too? Okay, your hands clean.
I'll say just wash them.
Okay, you can always get some more flour if you want. Do little ones and big ones.
Do you want the oven on?
No, I do not, Hannes. Because they have to rise again before we put them in the oven.
If it rises,
This is real life TV.
That's how to do mine.
Okay, so basically you can make big ones, small ones. You can choose exactly how you want to do it. I'm obviously not in the mood to do this anymore, but I'm going to do it anyways. So, this is what happens when it's past 8 o'clock in the evening at our house, because people just can't shut up and they have to intervene with everybody else's business. And I can't be a mom and have my say because someone else always knows better. And yeah, it's not very good. Okay, Pepper's doing bunny rabbit, so that's a good thing. We can make a better day. People are goofing off and people are telling other people what to do. This isn't talk back to you. It's nice, it's soft, it's fluffy, it tastes good, it looks good, it's nice color. I like rolling the dough. Voila, and there you can do any type of creation you want to do. That's my first creation. Ginger's going to show her creation. Voila, very nice, Ginger. Ginger's always been super artistic. And when she was first 3 years old, Pepper's age, she was doing this for about an hour. She had so much fun. Right, Ginger?
Yes, it is.
She doesn't remember, but she was.
I remember cooking in the old apartment
Yeah,
with the
Salt Lake
Cocoa.
City. What happened, Pepper?
Bunny rabbit.
For this one, I think I'm going to do a twist.
I do my first bunny rabbit. Wait.
I'm gonna
Is that a
twist,
turtle?
and then I'm going to do a roll on top of it. A twisted roll. Looks pretty good to me. So we're just working through the different pieces. Again, doesn't have to be any particular size. You can use a rolling pin like Pepper, or just work the dough like me and Ginger. Again, this is the double O flour. This type of flour tends to puff up nicely in the oven. This recipe calls for whole wheat flour, bread flour, and that makes it a little harder, the pastry. I'm not a big fan. I like the double O. It's also less gluten. It's also probably a little better for you. Okay. So this time I'm just going to do one big roll. Just all around. Voila. And saffron, such a delicate flavor. It is a very special spice. Very good for so many things. For your gut, for your memory, for your health, for your beauty. All the things. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and cover these up for at least 30 minutes. Optional, before you put it in the oven, you can do a little egg wash, which is just one beaten egg with a tablespoon of water, and you can just give them a little wash. Personally, I don't like the egg wash. I don't ever use it, but you could if you like that shiny effect. But if not, just cover it for 30 minutes until they've risen, and you want to preheat the oven 425, and you want to bake in the oven anywhere between 10 or 8 minutes if they're small to 12 minutes, and also depending on your oven. So I would just set the timer for 8 minutes and just check. And if they start to look nice and golden, you might want to take them out, and they might just be perfect. And you want to let them rest. Bunny rabbit right there. It looks very good, and she's working on our second bunny rabbit. So yeah, so these are a lot thinner, so probably maybe just 6 minutes, but we'll see. I'll see you in a little bit. The oven's been preheating at 400, and it's finally going in. So here's Ginger's creations. So they're pretty large. They puffed up nicely, so we'll do about 10 minutes and then I'll check. See you in a bit. Okay, here are the first ones. These are Ginger's. They look beautiful. So now we'll put in the second. They puffed up quite nicely, so they'll go in the oven for about 12 minutes. This is the second batch, just got out of the oven. Looks delicious. And we have last but not least, Pepper's little batch right here of stars and snail and a little rabbit. We'll place that in the oven right now. I'm guessing no more than 5 minutes. See you in a bit.